Live streaming is on.
Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is May the 12th, 2020. Strong hand, long-term thinking, having hype 2024. Oh, personal responsibility is new counterculture, offended by selling. All right, dudes, unconfiscatable, of course. Hello, my lead friends. If you have questions, I've got answers. You can type them in if you're watching this live. Play this at 2x if it's taped. 2 p.m. Baltimore time on Friday. This Week in Bitcoin. Best freaking guest in the space. Last week's This Week in Bitcoin, linked to below. All the great shows, linked to below. Always check out all the links below. And of course, follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT. Yes, people are happy in the chat because I'm on at a freaking normal time today. Pound that like button. It's not even 7 p.m. on the West Coast yet. And I haven't taken my walk of the day, but I will soon. Okay, remember, let's talk about the old days real fast here. Since we had the beautiful halving yesterday, and by the way, Bitcoin halving 2020 was trending on Twitter yesterday. I did not mention that, but hey, that's nice. And I talk about Twitter all the time. All the nonsense that trends on there, it was good to see something also. Now, a lot of you who've been watching this show for a while might remember back in 2016, one of my sayings I had after the 2016 halving, people back then were obsessed with the fiat price and would ask for predictions. And even back then, I knew I didn't like the clickbait predictions. Okay. I knew it was nonsense. So I would say at the 2020 halving, I will be happy if it's $1,000. I will be happy if it's $1,000 at the 2020 halving. So now it definitely was 1,000, wasn't it? And soon after I started to say that saying, it was 2017, and then clearly at the start of 2017, or by this point in 2017, the spring of 2017, it was obvious that 1,000 was definitely a low range prediction for the 2020 halving. But I will say this: 2024 halving, I'll be happy. I'll be happy if it's $21,000. There you go, fiat freaks. You want me to say a fiat number? There again, I'll just be happy it's $21,000. That's more than the all-time high. That'll satisfy me. I mean, I know a lot of other people won't be satisfied, but if for all the fiat freaks who purchase Bitcoin at this point in time, you'll be ahead. You'll be ahead if it's 21,000 in 2024. So I'll be perfectly fine if it's 21,000 in at the next halving. Okay, perfectly fine. So that's a classic flashback to my 1,000. Perfectly happy. So maybe I'll say that more often. I'll be perfectly happy. Some people might get angry when I say something like that. What? You won't be. It has to be 6-digit realm by then. Well, it doesn't have to be. It'll get to 6. Let's be patient here. So long-term thinking, set your goals. Let long-term thinking. Right now, what is it? It's not even $9,000. So if you bought a bunch of Bitcoin today, and I'm happy at 21,000 in 2024, you'll be very happy also. Okay, double your money, more than double your money, you fiat freaks. Again, just try to get as much Bitcoin as possible. Value your wealth in Bitcoin, as I do. I don't care about the fiat freaking price. I'm trying to get more Bitcoin all the darn time, by any means necessary. Turning those crypto dividends into Bitcoin. Play this at 2x, people. Please play this at 2x if you're watching this tape. Now, what else do we have here? Tone Vase shared a video. I don't know who made this video. It's a really cool video of the Bitcoin event timeline from the last halving until the 2020 halving. So it's played at 2x, of course, this video. And you see everything that's happened That was a big story from 2016 to 2020. For those of you who were not around, it'll educate you some. For those of you who've been around the entire time like I have, it brings back some nice memories. Now, we've got a tweet from, and let me tell you something about fitting in being overrated, okay? Now, there's people that walk by this window here. I got the windows open because I don't care. I want the light coming in. And so people are walking by, and there's not many people should be walking by the breezeway, but I saw two people walk by, and I don't give a darn. I'm standing here in my boxers and a shirt. For insider information, I don't usually wear pants when I do this show. So I'm talking talking in very I've got lots of energy directed at a laptop. I don't give a darn. Look at me. I'm wearing my boxers and look at that. Who cares? Fitting in is overrated, dude. The people must be worried. The guy screaming at his laptop in his boxers? Yeah, great. You should like tune into the show, man. Come on. Watch the now no one's out there right now. I'm talking to a wall basically. But they hear me. Sometimes if they're outside, they can hear me. Anyway, that's all about fitting in. Be a unique beast. That's more so of a unique beast. I'm definitely one of those. So at Paradigm, these dudes at Paradigm, they have a tweet out there. Hey, at Paradigm, we often talk to investors and institutions approaching Bitcoin for the first time. Never before have we seen more interest in Bitcoin as a digital companion to gold. Now, I haven't heard that term before. This is how we explain Bitcoin to the open-minded skeptic. Okay, and they link to a pamphlet they give out. You can read it too. It's a pretty good explanation if you're an open-minded skeptic. Now, I wonder if these people that are these institutions and investors that are coming to them right now, how many of the people when they start talking about gold and Bitcoin comparisons, how many people really think it's a digital companion? Like, okay, I've got some gold and now I want to have something that's like gold, that's digital, and then I'll just sit them over here and they'll be friends and they'll be companions. And, so I'll have both. I'll have the digital version of gold and I'll have the real version of gold. And how many people are thinking, wait a second, this is not a digital companion. This is a digital replacement. I mean, that's the way I think of it, as a digital replacement. I do not think of it as a digital companion at all. It's that you want the best. You want 2.0, baby. You want gold 2.0. Why would you keep the old gold? It's a digital replacement. I think many people, maybe after reading that pamphlet, maybe after thinking about it, maybe they came into it saying, hey, this is a digital companion. I can have both. I can have the old. I can have the new. They're going to transform into it's a digital replacement. They're going to evolve into digital replacement. And what I meant to say before, I'm very animated. I couldn't think of the word animated. So if someone's walking by, they're going to see this animated dude. But hey, it's a B shirt, Bitcoin. Okay, so there we go. I'm glad Paradigm has a lot of people in. I don't care why you're interested in Bitcoin, okay? If you're interested in Bitcoin, you think it's a companion and you're going out there and you got some money to blow, that's good. You'll learn and you'll eventually evolve into the digital replacement. I believe more and more people will go, if they think it's a digital companion, a term I had never heard before, they will evolve into digital replacement. So we also have a tweet from River Financial that says, or someone saying, representing River Financial, we've seen record signups this week at River Financial. Many of these people are buying their first Bitcoin with us. Very exciting to see. So there, Paradigm, River Financial. This is good news. This is good news. People are interested in it for whatever reasons. Maybe they were triggered by the halving, et cetera, et cetera. The more the merrier. Let's get more people into this thing, baby. So here's something technical for you atomic swap people. It's called succinct atomic swap. How to perform an atomic swap in merely 2 or 3 transactions instead of 4. This is a technical YouTube video out there, okay? You can watch it. And it's linked to below. Watch you tech freaks out there that you haven't heard about atomic swaps for a while. Well, there you go. Now, we talked about River Financial. Let me pound that like button and see if people have questions over here, because I did say if you had questions, I have answers. And we've got people. Hello. All right. Hi, Adam. It's nice to see you. Yes, it's nice to see you guys. Hey, here's a question. Cass just said, maybe for the beyond Bitcoin, but do you own so few things that you can take everything you own with you when moving from Airbnb? That's the point, dude. Yeah, I live out of a suitcase. Yes, I live out of a suitcase. I do. There's a few things I have in storage. There's stuff I have in storage. There's clothing I have in storage, but I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I did nothing. I own a laptop. That weighs something. So there's, and I've talked about this before. I mean, you gotta possessions. I forgot Elon Musk said this, and I was going to talk about this in a Beyond Bitcoin. It's a great line. Possessions are an attack vector. Pound that like button. I love that. I really love that. Possessions are in it. So I don't have that many possessions, so I don't have that many attack vectors. Again, if you own a house, you can get sued to Kingdom Come, okay? And it's probably not very fun, is it? If you own a car and you crash into something, you can get sued. There's other things. I own TVs, all this nonsense. No, I live off of that suitcase that's been in the Meister family for freaking 20 years. Okay, it's fallen apart almost. I live off of that from one air. That's as much as I bring with me, and I have stuff in my backpack too. So that's how I travel from country to country, from state to state, from Airbnb to Airbnb. It's great, and still don't know where I'm going to be after I make my little pit stop in Baltimore on June the 1st. Still taking suggestions. I'm doing this show early today so I can do some. I'm ordering a new laptop, by the way. This laptop I've had since the beginning of 2017, which is ridiculous in a way, even for a guy who saves as much as I do, and I don't buy a thing. It's getting to the ridiculous point that I've had this laptop since the beginning of 2017. It's an old school laptop. And I can definitely make fun of myself for that. I mean, you got it. It's pretty ridiculous. I'm going to get a better laptop, guys. I need one. It's taking a risk when you have a laptop that's this old and has had problems in the past. You don't need this thing breaking down on you when you're in LA or wherever I may be. Idaho, who knows? Okay. And I did have this exact laptop broke down on me when I was in Bergen, Norway in 2018, and I got pretty lucky that I was able to get it fixed from a very, very nice person. Okay, moving on. Look at this. This is my favorite. It's a little cool. I think it must be cool outside today. Again, I haven't walked outside yet because I can wear my long sleeve in here. Got a little cooler. Oh, you've got to love the breeze coming off the ocean. Although the ocean is relatively far away, it's still relatively close compared to like if you're in the Midwest or something like that. And the thing about the weather on the West Coast, if there's an ocean breeze, it feels different than a mountain breeze. Oh, it's so nice. It's so much different. East Coast is just humidity. By the time you get to June, it's humidity. Baltimore, humidity. That's the only weather. You can't differentiate between the weather. It's humidity. Here, well, that's an ocean breeze. Or the sun is bearing down on me. Or it's coming from the mountains. Oh, it's a pleasure. The West Coast, weather-wise, is a pleasure. In terms of the bootlicking and the government, the fascism here, it's not too good. It's not too good. But hey, I'm defiant. I'm out there every day. Anyone can be defiant. But the ones that are the leaders here seem to be more sociopathic. And some people here are just, there's a certain segment of the population that just worships them, blindly worships them. But there are rebels here. Keep on being defiant. Check out my link below of me being defiant on the streets of LA. Okay, took a little detour there from what I was planning on talking about. Moving, but that's what you get on the Bitcoin Meister show. You get a freaking unique beast. So let's talk about JPMorgan, because that's what you guys came here. So many of you are just, very paranoid about JPMorgan, think that they're the devil, blah, 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 blah. Well, what we do know is that JPMorgan, the outward face of JPMorgan, was not too cool in terms of Bitcoin, but they evolved. So here's a quote why is JPMorgan doing this? Well, I'm going to say what they're doing. Customer demand equals money. They see the trends. It may be hard to believe now, but for a short time in the early mid-90s, large banks were also skittish about taking any business from internet-related companies because the net was seen as shady. So Coinbase and Gemini can now do business with JPMorgan. They're the first major bank to step up and say, we're going to do business. We're not freaked out by doing business with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin related companies. They apparently, if you run a Bitcoin company, even if it's as big as Gemini and Coinbase, you have a hard time establishing a banking relationship. And there's certain smaller banks that obviously they have banks that deal with them already. Okay, the Winklevi and Coinbase, but this is big. This is a big bank. And they've changed their tune. And it's only, like this guy said, it's a matter of money. It's customer demand. They're going to be making money off of this, okay? And they're learning. Just like we look back on the internet that there were companies. There were banks that didn't want to do business with internet businesses because they thought they were shady. That's laughable now. And so this is going to become laughable. If you're watching this in 2030, you're probably saying, well, the big banks didn't do business with the cryptocurrency companies. They didn't, but now they do. Historically, it has been difficult for cryptocurrency exchanges to secure reliable banking relationships for fear of fraud and money laundering, something that has led them to rely on sketchy payment processors instead. All right, so there you go. JPMorgan, you vilify them. They're doing business now. It's about the money. Respect the money. They respect the money. They know they can make money off of this. It's particularly significant not just because JPMorgan's staunch stance against cryptocurrencies in the past, but because they could open avenues for better banking relationships for Bitcoin companies going forward. And it does. Yeah, yes, they were outward facing, at least they were staunch. They seem to be against cryptocurrencies. I don't know internally what they were doing, but this does open up the possibilities for all sorts of people. Soon there'll be people like, my company we deal with Bank of America. For me, I hope that we get to a point where you don't even have to. If you truly value your wealth in Bitcoin, you don't really need to touch a fiat right now. But if you're an exchange, obviously the whole word exchange, you're exchanging fiat for crypto. These gamblers love that. We're going to talk about that in a second. So yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. CoinDesk article by the great Zach Vol. Stablecoin supply breaks $10 billion as traders demand dollars over Bitcoin. So no shock that the impulsive traders value their wealth in dollars. They love to be in stable coins. It helps them. It helps them go back and forth between altcoins and maybe sometimes Bitcoin, and making their penny at a time, doing their gambling thing, mostly losing. These guys are losing, but yeah. So stable coins are more and more people are demanding stable coins. They're putting their money into it. So more are being printed apparently, and people are paying for them maybe, and they're not just being printed out of thin air. Maybe, who knows? But definitely the market cap has grown to. That's a big round number because the gamblers, hey, they find value in it. I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. They're impulsive about it. They impulsive gamblers. For me, I'm valuing my wealth in Bitcoin over the long term. I don't care what the dollar is, what it's worth in dollars, and how. Again, you value your wealth in your stable coins. Pay your taxes over and over and over again for your short-term capital gains nonsense to the U.S. government. Do what you're gonna do. You play in there. Once you touch that dollar, dude. Once you touch that, even the stablecoin dollars. Again, the stablecoin dollars most of the stablecoin dollars, or not most, a big hunk of it is not Tether. Okay, it's whatever they have on Gemini. And you better darn believe if you're going back and forth between what is it? They have USD coin there, that they're going to tell your buddy the IRS that you went from dollars to Bitcoin, and this is what you owe your buddy the IRS now. And that's just That's when you play in the dollar realm, you play by their rules. And then if you value your wealth in Bitcoin, you don't touch the dollars, then you don't worry about the dollar rules. But hey, people, I don't think everybody thinks this out. All these they're impulsive traders. I call them gamblers and impulsive. Obviously, I don't think they're thinking too much over there about the implications. But every time, usually by the end of the year, you start hearing people talking about the tax implications that they didn't know about. Oh, what is this short-term capital gains? Okay, so there you go. Hey, by the way, remember at the end of the show, click on the square. Click on the square. So speaking about, to see, it pops up a recent show of mine. So just keep on checking out more shows, disruptmeister.com. Now, finally, we're going to talk about this Telegram stuff. And my Lord, I am not getting into that. They had legal proceedings with the SEC trying to follow their rules because they sort of had an ICO where they issued a token, and they're giving up on their Graham tokens now. They've had enough about it. They've had enough. They've had enough of dealing with the SEC and the government. They don't want to do it. I guess they think they're going to fail. Well, here we go. Nick Carter says, this is Nick Carter's conclusion. Now, remember, Nick Carter is a dude who he doesn't like ICOs. I'm not going to put words into the guy's mouth, but he's not an enemy of regulation. He thinks people need to be protected by Big Brother, I guess. But here we go. After the ICO bust, he says, many VC funds bet heavily on the legal theory that issuers could still sell coins to retail investors if it was distributed not by the team, but by early investors on a secondary market. That theory suffered a devastating blow today. Now, if you read the whole thread, some people, there's at least one person in there that says, no, this is not the end of this walk around for ICOs, this way of doing an ICO without really doing an ICO. For me, dude, why can't companies just issue the darn tokens? This is where the big boys play. Personal responsibility is new counterculture. So, seeing all the spam about Graham token, Telegram, I think it's nonsense. But they should be able to do their nonsense, and people should be able to buy their nonsense. But they gave up. They had enough of the SEC. Some people think, it's great that the SEC is regulating this, defining what's a security and what's not a security. Come on, man. I think one day we'll all look back and say, like, the government defined what money was, what a security. The companies weren't allowed to print their own money. Why did we listen to the government? Why did we? So now you do have to listen to the government because they can come to your house and arrest you if you do an ICO. I'm not suggesting that anyone do that. But I will say this. I think more voices who talk about how ridiculous this is, and more people who are defiant and will suggest defiance and say, like, no, this is ridiculous. I don't think ICOs are. You could call them whatever you want to call them. I think people should be able to do them. I think companies should be able to print their own money. And this is where let people learn on their own if it was total nonsense, if it was a total scam. They have the option to gamble. Plenty of people love to gamble, obviously, from the popularity of stablecoins and Tether, and people do that. Or you have the option to go to the real thing, Bitcoin. So let people choose. We're grown-ups here. We're grown-ups. So there you go. Telegram gave up on their fight with the SEC, apparently. But maybe others will in the future. And hey, I'm just saying, get your Bitcoin. But Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about all this nonsense. But and it is the real thing. But people should be able to innovate any way they want to in this space. It's the freaking golden age. We're living in, as I said yesterday, we're living in contrasting times where we have people trying to do creative things like this. And at the same time, we have this whole new huge population of people who are scared to do anything and are locking themselves in their house. Who do you like? Who do you sway to? Who do you go toward? The people that are actually doing something and you don't have to buy what they're doing, or the people who are just scared and locking themselves in their houses? All right, pound that like button. Let me just check before I go on my walk here if anybody else had any more questions. All right. I'd rather hold stable coins than the fiat dollar, someone says.
Except the thing is, if you've got the stable coins, there's some of them that can be clawed back, I believe, and they could go to zero very suddenly. There are some cons to holding the stable coin, but interesting point there. All right, we got people saying stuff. All right, no other questions over there. Yeah, it's nice in LA today, someone says. Well, I hope you're there. All right, stables are for horses, says JC. Yeah, I agree with that. That's actually a good way of talking about, hey, dudes, you're obsessed with your stable coin. Stables are for horses. But one thing I will say, Bitcoin is my stable coin. Pound that like button. Hey, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm the Bitcoin Meister. Subscribe to the channel. Do all that stuff that I usually say to do. Follow me on Twitter at TechBot. I'll say hi to you dudes in the chat right now.